Genuine students were emotionally manipulated, while organized groups used their movement as cover for and violence and regime change. Muhammad Yunus himself said this was a meticulously designed movement led by a mastermind. His own words expose the truth. It was not simply a spontaneous student protest. There was no visible or responsible leadership. Instructions were given invisibly. It was organized, directed, and used to create a path to power outside the ballot box. From July 15th, the character of the movement changed. Killings, arson, attacks, and looting began. State property was destroyed. Bangladesh television was attacked and set on fire. So was different buildings like Setu Bhavan, the Directorate General of Health Services, the EPI vaccination program building, Farmgate Metro Rail Station, flyover, Mohakali Elevator Expressway, science research facilities, the Disaster Management Office, a national database center, a COVID-19 special hospital, Bangladesh Medical University, residential hotels, industrial facilities, businesses, prisons, and including Noshingdi and other district jails were attacked, vandalized, or burned. All the terrorists, criminals were released. Awami League offices were vandalized across the country. Leaders and workers were attacked and killed. Homes of ministers and senior figures associated with my government were looted and burned. The media was also targeted. Nearly 50 media centers, private television stations, and newspaper offices were attacked or set on fire. Journalists were killed. Law enforcement agencies came under organized attack. Police, Sepai, the other officers were killed and their bodies were hung from flyover. Around 460 police stations were outposted or set on fire, and in some, personnel were trapped inside buildings and burnt alive. Weapons were looted. Officers were beaten to death. According to persecuted police members, at least 3,000 personnel were killed, attacked, tortured, or subjected to serious violence. So, I ask a simple question. In such a situation, what is the duty of law enforcement? When police stations are burned, government buildings are attacked, public infrastructure is destroyed, officers are killed, and weapons are looted, does the state have no duty to protect life and property? In every country, law enforcement has a responsibility to protect citizens, state institutions, and their own lives. This is not a crime. That is the duty entrusted to them by law. At the same time, I wanted the truth to be known. That is why I formed a Judicial Inquiry Commission on 18th July 2024. Its purpose was clear. Every casualty had to be investigated. Every incident of violence had to be examined, and every family deserved to know the truth. I met victims' families, visited the injured, and instructed the authorities to provide the highest level of medical treatment free of cost. On 1st August, I strengthened the inquiry into a three-member commission so that the investigation would be credible and comprehensive. But after seizing power, the illegal interim government led by Mohammad Yunus stopped the investigation. They did not allow the truth to come out. They gave indemnity to those who involved in the killings. If they truly wanted justice, why did they stop the inquiry? If they had nothing to hide, why protect the killers? That one decision on 1st August, I strengthened the inquiry into a three-member commission so that the investigation would be credible and comprehensive. But after seizing power, the illegal interim government led by Mohammad Yunus stopped the investigation. They did not allow the truth to come out. They gave indemnity to those who involved in the killings. If they truly wanted justice, why did they stop the inquiry? If they had nothing to hide, why protect the killers? That one decision tells the truth. They did not want justice, they wanted power. They did not want investigation, they wanted the evidences buried. Their own words export the truth. An NCP leader said revolution would not have succeeded if police had not been killed and the metro rail had not been set on fire. A BNP leader in Sirazganj also said publicly that Enayatpur police station was burned and police were killed to make the revolution succeed. These statements show that the July-August movement was not merely a quota reform movement. It became a coordinated assault on constitutional order driven by hidden instruction, organized violence, and propaganda. The conspiracy did not end on 5th August. After 5th August, violence became a campaign of political persecution. The killing that began on 16 July with the murder of Shobuz Ali, a Dhaka college student and student league activist, has not stopped. Awami League leaders and workers are being killed, disappeared, arrested, driven from their homes, and buried under false cases. At least 10,000 have been killed or disappeared. Around 650,000 have been arrested over the last 2 years. Around 3,500 cases have been filed. Namely, nearly 450,000 leaders, workers, and supporters are accused. More than 1 million others have been as unnamed accused. Against me, more than 600 cases has been filed. Women activists of Chhatra League, student organization, youth league, other affiliated organizations are facing abuse, humiliation, torture in custody. Many leaders and workers have also died in prison amid documented accounts of torture, denial of medical treatment, deprivation of food, negligence, and denial of basic rights. The persecution is not limited to the Awami League members of only. the member of minority community, judges, lawyers, intellectuals, cultural figures, journalists, professionals, workers, even rickshaw pullers, farmers, ordinary citizens have been attacked, arrested, or accused in murder cases. No one who stands for the spirit of the liberation war is safe. Symbols and memorials of our liberation war have been destroyed. Freedom fighters have been humiliated with garland of shoes. The historic residence of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bangabandhu Memorial Museum at Dhanmondi 32 has been attacked and demolished in phases. This is not random violence. This is an attempt to erase the spirit of the liberation war from Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus himself spoke of pressing a reset button to whip away the country's previous history. They want to erase the liberation war, they want to erase Bangabandhu, they want to rewrite Bangladesh against the foundation on which it was born. Convicted war criminals have been released, militants and top terrorists have been freed. Even after a staged election brought the BNP to power, the situation did not change. Bangladesh remains a grip of fear, terror, repression, economic hardship, and deep insecurity. Now, look at the condition of the country. The progress we built has been destroyed, and ordinary people are paying the price. GDP growth has fallen to 2.22% compared with 6.80% during the Awami League government. Industrial production has fallen sharply. For the first time in 54 years, the industrial sector has faced negative growth. Defaulted loans in the banking sector have reportedly risen from 13% to 47%. Poverty has increased from 18.60% to 46.8%. Investment has turned negative. Job creation has collapsed. More than 2 crore people have newly fallen into unemployment. Over 500 industrial factories have closed. More than half of industrialists and business owners are either in prison or forced into hiding. The government is running by borrowing 700 to 900 crore taka from banks every day. Project costs have been increased by 50% to 250%. At the same time, militancy is rising. Children are facing torture, rape, humiliation. And ordinary people no longer feel secure in their own lives. Extortion, murder, kidnapping have become regular features of daily life. These are not just numbers or isolated incidents. Behind them, there is a family, a worker, a farmer, a small business owner, a mother who cannot buy food for her children, and a young person who no longer sees hope. But let me also remind you what Bangladesh had achieved. The welfare of the people has always been the purpose of my deep politics. My father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, gave his life for the ideal, and I have carried the ideal with full commitment. During my 5 terms as a Prime Minister, we used long-term planning, sound financial management, disciplined implementation to place Bangladesh on a strong foundation. After 2008, across 16 years, and 4 consecutive terms, we implemented major projects such as Padma Bridge, Metro Rail, Rupur Nuclear Power Plant, Matarbari Deep Sea Port, Kandafuli Tunnel, Bangabandhu Satellite,